Hey, it's Julie. I'm here down in my basement trying to take a moment of silence, a moment to myself. So just a quick little flow here. Basic movements, basic vinyasa poses. You should most of you who practice regularly should be familiar with it. Join along the best that you can. I just have two blocks. Something that represents a shape of a block would be great if you don't have it. We're gonna get right started into a downward facing dog. So I set up, hands are the shoulder width distance. Index fingers are forward, maybe even a little wider with the hands if you feel tighter with your shoulders. My feet are about hip width, inner hip width distance apart as well. And I'm taking up a lot of space on my mat. My head hangs nice and soft. And I begin to feel. It's interesting, I have a lot more feeling with the cushy carpet underneath me. So little extra firmness of my hands to grip the floor. Bend behind the knees as much as you need. Lift your hips up off your shoulders. Take a few rounds of breath right here just to get yourself into the yoga mood. Feel your outer arms hug in. And know that you could always modify. You can always take tabletop position if downward facing dog is unavailable to you. From here, we'll roll forward to plank position. I'll check in with the alignment of my down dog to plank. It should happen pretty naturally, but if it doesn't, feel free to walk it out a little bit so your stance is the length so that your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists line up. They should match up nicely. Good. And then firm up the core. Your gaze, also known in the yoga world as your drishti, comes just a little bit forward to the edge of your mat. Just be mindful not to jut the chin out. Fire up the thighs, and know that you can always support by just dropping the knees. A few more breaths, firming everything up, hugging everything in. Good. And then take downward facing dog, hips float back. Hands and feet have now found their natural place, most likely. Roll forward plank like a wave in the ocean. Your gaze goes forward. There's a broadening of the shoulders that are happening here, so you really begin to feel the upper part of the body supporting the push-up, the plank position. Keep your gaze a little forward, bend your elbows, chaturanga, drop your knees if you need support. Feel the weight in the thumb, the index finger, the baby finger. The whole hand is helping me here. Reach straighten the arms to a plank position. Gaze is forward, downward facing dog, hips press back. Walk my hands back to my feet at the back of my mat. Let the head go. You can grab onto the front of your shins. You can grab behind your calves. You can hook your big toes. Some sort of active fold here as you fold your body in half. I'm gonna go with my hands and scoop them behind my calves. A little softness behind my knees. If your lower back is sensitive, bend more. Let the head go, make a connection. The weight comes forward into the balls of the feet. The head goes nice and soft. Good, take another big breath in. Lift the hips up off your body so they lift a little higher, and then your weight can transfer a little bit more forward. Slide the hands back down to the floor and slowly begin to creep back out to a downward facing dog. When you get to your down dog, roll forward plank. Bend your elbows to a chaturanga. Support if you need, knees can come down. Gaze is forward, re-straighten your arms to a plank, hug the belly in. Good. Downward facing dog, hips press back. Look to the top of the mat. Take two big steps to get there. Feet are gonna stay hips width distance. Come to the fingertips, long spine. I have a soft bend behind my knees here. Fold in half over the legs. Root to rise, come all the way up. Energetically reach through your fingertips. Feel your feet securing you on the floor. Draw your hands to prayer at heart center. Let your arms go. Reach your arms straight up towards the sky. Soft gaze up. Bend in half over the legs. Long spine, come to your fingertips. Fold again. Root to rise, come up. Feel the energy from the floor. Drag the hands to prayer at heart center. A few more like this. Reach the arms up. Movement and breath connect together. Bend in half. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Hands can also just slide to your shins if they don't make it to the floor. Fold over the legs. Inhale, half lift. Root to rise, come back up. Hands drag to prayer at heart center. Drop your arms, reach up a little bigger. Gaze is soft, look up. Bend over, fold over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Plant the palms, take two big steps to get to the back. Back in that plank. We just love our plank. Bend the elbows in half, chaturanga. Gaze is forward. Pull the heart through for an up dog. Point the toes. Good. It's a new breath. Downward facing dog, hips press back. Roll forward to plank. Hug your right knee to your navel. Do the best that you can with this. It can always be taken in more of a down dog if this is unavailable. Slide the right foot forward and through. Drop the knee, slide the thigh bone back a little bit. Come to your fingertips. Feel like you're dragging your chest through your body. If reaching the floor is problematic, you can always slide something underneath the hands, blocks, pillows, to create a little bit more lift for yourself. Take a few more breaths. Your gaze is forward. Your back leg is resting on the floor. Good. Start to lift your chest up. The arms are going to just reach forward. So they're reaching forward towards the front wall. The elbows are going to reach back and you're going to cactus the arms. Pause here. So just cactusing the arms and feeling the grip of the shoulders just pulling together. The belly draws in, the weight's in the right heel. And then you can either stay here or begin to engage the back knee and lift the knee up off the ground. So it's up to you what you want to do with this. You can keep the knee down, but grip your right hip underneath you. Fire up your left leg a lot. Good. Stay with it. Squeeze the shoulder blades a little bit more together. Yeah. And then slide the arms back forward towards the front wall. Grip the hips underneath you. Start to rise into a high lunge. Working on your balance here. Know that you can always drop your knee. Feel the weight in your right heel. Integrate the legs to create that strength. Take another big breath. Bring your lungs forward so you can really begin to breathe into the front side of the body. Gaze goes forward. Take the hands down to the floor. Step back to plank. Bend your elbows, chaturanga. Pull your chest through for an up dog. Downward facing dog. Roll back out plank. Hug your left knee in. Do the best that you can with this. Think knee in between biceps. Feel the ground. Draw the navel to the back of the spine. Keep looking forward. Land your left foot the best that you can forward. Come to the fingertips, drop the knee. This is just a great way to release the psoas, our walking muscle. Come up onto your fingertips and feel that you're pulling your chest through your body. Know that you could always stay with this. This is plenty of action happening. Something is definitely happening here for my hips and my psoas. If you'd like to move on, start to lift yourself up a little bit. As you begin to lift yourself up, arms are just going to reach forward. Start with that action so the side of the body begins to lift up. Then I'm going to flip my palms to face towards the floor. Begin to squeeze the shoulder blades back, kind of like a lat pull down. Pause. Squeeze the shoulder blades together in a safe way. Right, palms stay down, gaze is forward, wrapping of your left hip and scissoring of the legs together. Stay with this, or if you'd like to move on, you could begin to engage the back kneecaps. Now my arms are cactus, my legs are strong, and my knee is lifted. The weight is in the left heel. The thigh bone is working nicely to support this. Take another big breath. Reach your arms forward, straight forward towards the front wall. Zip up your inner and outer thigh. Start to lift. Sitting into your front thigh, hips lift. Back leg strong, look forward. Draw the lower belly in. Fix your eyes on something that's not moving. Extend through the fingertips. Take another big breath in. Take the hands down to the floor. Plank position. When you get to plank, decide what you need. Maybe a chaturanga, maybe not at all. Upward facing slides you through. Downward facing presses you back. Land your right foot forward. Turn your back foot onto its side. Pause. It's the same kind of deal here. Back thigh turns enough forward that your ribs can go with you. Good, a little different. Right leg bends in half and the weight's in the heel. My arms are going to reach forward just like I did before. Pause with that. Gaze is forward. Now you're going to hook the elbows over the top of the head, kind of like a picture frame. If this is unavailable, don't do it, but give it a try because it's going to open up the shoulders. So I'm grabbing the elbows with the insteps of my palms. I feel my feet zip up on the floor. My lower belly draws in. Now, as I begin to lift up, anchor through your feet. Start to lift your chest up. Gaze goes forward. Feel the outer blade. I feel that a lot, pressing into the mat. Now sit deeper. Turn the left ribs towards the wall that you're facing. Feel the blade press into the mat. Now, keeping everything the way that it is, just reach your arms straight up towards the sky. Reach through the fingertips. Grow from the ground up. Keep the right arm reaching up. Slide the left arm back. Start to reach down the back of the thigh. Flip the palm back, begin to lift from your hip points, stretch up and back. So you're really anchoring and zipping up that back leg. Pause here. It's not a back bend, it's just a frontal stretch. Look up, it's soft. Take another big breath in, sit deeper. Circle both hands to frame your front foot, step back plank. Bend your elbows, chaturanga. Drag your chest through for an up dog. Take a downward facing dog. Land your left foot forward. Turn your back foot onto its side. Scissor that left hip back. Squeeze the legs together. Once again, come up just a little. Reach your arms forward. Now, if you could remember, even though it was just a second ago, it's a big challenge nowadays. Grab onto the elbows. Opposite elbow. Steer the left hip back. Spiral the right thigh and the right ribs forward. Bend into the left thigh a little bit more. Connect. Connect with the ground. Connect with your breath. Start to bring your chest up. Keep the legs the way that they are. The hip points are forward. Broaden across the upper chest. Breathe. Anchor the right foot into the mat. Feel the outer blade pressing firmly. Turn the right ribs a little bit more. And connect. Keep all that. Start to reach just from your elbows to your fingertips straight up towards the sky. Good. A lot of lift. The hip points are relatively forward. The left arm stays up. The right arm's just going to drop back. It's going to reach the back of the thigh, just like candle wax sliding down the back of the leg. My left palm's going to turn back just an inch. So now it's facing down. Inhale the breath. Keep turning your right hip. Keep steering it forward. Lift up out of your hip points and reach that arm back just an inch or two. Sit a little deeper. Take another big breath in. Circle the hands to the floor. Plank position. Bend your elbows if you want the chaturanga. Drag your chest through for an up dog. It is a back bend. Take a downward facing dog. Hips press back. Look to the top of the mat. You can step, you can float your feet there. Long spine on the inhale breath. Keep a little bend in your knees. Exhale, fold. Sit into a chair pose. Weight goes in your heels. Drishti goes up, just a little forward. Good. Sit a little deeper. Stretch your arms up a little bit more. Press all the way up to stand. Draw your hands to prayer. Just a few sambhis. We'll put it all together. Stretch the arms straight up. Feel your feet on the floor. Sit into chair pose. Dive over bent knees. Forward fold. Come to the fingertips along spine. Plant your palms. 2 big steps gets you back. Plank. Bend your elbows to that chaturanga. Pull your chest through up dog. Take downward facing dog. Right foot lands. Back foot onto its side. Warrior one. Not too fast, not too slow. Just right for you. Take as much time as you need. Hands come down. I'm immediately set up for that plank. Take it, chaturanga or not. Upward facing, downward facing. Left foot lands. Back foot onto its side. Warrior one. Awakening. Hands come down. Plank position. Move with your breath. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Hips lift up and back. There's a spreading of your toes. Opportunity to restart each time you come here. Feel your hands pressed firmly into the mat. Grip them. Look where you want to land. You can step, you can float your feet to the top. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold. Sit again into a chair pose. Weight goes into your heels. Shins drag back, chest lifts, gaze goes forward, or maybe even a little bit up. Shoot up to stand, drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Stretch your arms back up. Sit again, chair. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Step or float. Chaturanga or not. Upward facing. Downward facing. Right foot forward. Momentum and a little nice pace here. Warrior one. Hands come down to a plank. Bend your elbows to a chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left foot forward. Back foot onto its side. Warrior one. Hands come down. Plank. Bend your elbows. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Grip your hands into the floor. Look where you want to go. Step or float, top of mat. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold. Sit again into a chair. Don't make yourself too comfortable. Sit a little deeper. Drag your hands to prayer. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow and begin your twist. Now keep in mind that when you twist like this, if your feet together creates discomfort in your lower back, separate them so they're hips width distance. You can always slide a block in between your thighs too. The twist is happening from above the belly button, so all the little ribs are turning. My spine is staying nice and aligned and long. My weight stays in my heels. The shins continue to drag back, and it's really important to keep the knees lined up. So I keep checking to make sure. Open up your arms if you want a little bit more, or stay as you are. Feel the shape of the legs. Keep that. Pull around to a chair. Look forward. Stay with it. Fold over the legs. Come to the fingertips along spine. If you have blocks or some object to help you here, if not, just do the best that you can, bringing the floor up to you. Right leg stays strong, left leg lifts. Pause. It's hard to slow down, but just be in the moment. Don't worry about what's coming next. You're right where you need to be. So here I am balancing, and if I don't have the blocks, I have to soften the right knee and bring my hands to a prayer. Good. Start to turn the top foot open. I'm moving into a very slow transition to half moon. So if you have a block, I'm near a wall too. You can lean against the wall. Take the support, grip the right foot forward. That's the hardest part. Keeping that right foot facing forward. Stack the body, align yourself from the ground up. Maybe begin to look up. Spark up your top toes. Take another big breath. Really find that space that you need in this pose. It's a wonderful posture. Look down, keep your right foot where it is. Take a giant step back, warrior two. Now, sometimes that transition doesn't work out for a lot of us. So just reset, meet me in a warrior two. Your right foot is facing forward. Your back toes are pivoted in enough. Yeah. And your tailbone is long. My body is stacked in between my two hips. My arms are extending out. Reach the arms straight up towards the sky. Grab onto opposite elbows. Take a few breaths just like this. This is unavailable. Your hands can just come to prayer. They can slide to your hips. Work on straightening out your ribs to face towards them, facing towards you. Wrap the inner thigh open. Drop the tailbone, sit a little deeper. Close your eyes if you want to. From your elbows to your fingertips, start to straighten your arms. Then start to slide the arms down. Now they're back where we started, a regular warrior two. Sit a little deeper, begin to tip. Right arm's gonna come to the inside of the right thigh, left arm up. If you'd like, you can take a block. Reach for my block here. Place it to the instep of the foot. Slide the left arm up. Another great option, arm could just rest on the top of the thigh. Support yourself here, but make sure your whole weight isn't dropping down. There should be a turn of your right ribs, a gripping in of your right glute. Left arm can go straight up or it can wrap forward, but you must move from your, actually, let's just keep it up for this version. This version is not meant to really wrap the arm. I mean, you can, there's nothing wrong with it. But let's just stay with this. If you feel like you want to add a half bind, let's go for that alternative. Lean back a little bit. Use the feet, use the back of the tricep to press against the inside of the thigh bone. Turn up your ribs, bring your gaze up, look off the left shoulder. Keep bending into the front thigh, just release the left arm back up towards the ceiling. Anchor your feet from your legs, from your core, pull up warrior two, try not to bounce. Take another big breath in, start to straighten out your right leg. Scoot the back foot in about an inch or two, slide the hand to the shin, or reach for a block and go to the outside of the calf. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Lift to the side body, inner thighs working, a little soft bend behind your right knee as you bring your gaze up. And once again, if you want to add an arm option here, the arm can wrap around, you can go into that half bind. You can even work on a double bind, which is clasping the hands behind the back. This is kind of a cool alternative. Really checking in to make sure that my core, my legs are producing the pose, not relying on the upper body. Lean back a little. Take another big breath in. If you took any arm variations, just meet me in a regular trico. Look to the floor, circle both hands down. Left heel's gonna bump up, fingertips are down on the ground. I'm just gonna step left foot to meet right, top of mat. Long spine on the inhale breath, exhale, fold. Prepare as you sit into a chair pose, weights in your heels. Slide the hands to prayer, inhale the breath, hook the elbow, start the twist. And once again, it's almost beneficial having this camera here because it's giving me a little indication, like, are my knees together? Is my weight back enough in my heels? Like all these great things to think about. And then you could choose to think about nothing. Just think about breath. and being present. Maybe open up your arms if you want a little more, but that's just an option. Stay with your breath, stay with the feeling. Take another big breath in, sit a little deeper. Keep the shape of the legs, pull yourself around to chair. Pause in the chair, embrace that feeling. Fold over the legs. Come to the fingertips, long spine. Once again, if you have blocks, wonderful. If you're not, just make do. Left leg is the standing leg, right leg's just gonna lift, only hip height. Notice I'm not opening my hips. I'm finding a lot of lift through my side body. This is how I need to be to get to my next thing. But you're also welcome just to stay here. So if your hands are on blocks, move slowly. If they're not on blocks, the hands are more in a prayer. Start to turn the foot open and move with control into half moon. Work out where the bottom block needs to be, a little bit forward, a little bit off to the left. Spark up the right toes, lift from your inner thigh. Feel the left foot really pressing into the mat. The hip must be forward. Maybe bring your drishti up. Add in what you need, be consistent. Spark up your right toes, lift a little higher. Let's keep the transition nice and smooth. Start to look down. Yeah, keep your left foot where it is. Take a giant step back, warrior two. Work it out with yourself, big enough, wide enough. The right foot turns in a little and the arms reach across the body. Sit deep into the tailbone, so you're not tucking the tailbone, you're lengthening. Arms are gonna reach straight up towards the sky. Grab onto opposite elbows, whatever side you didn't take. Pay attention to your left thigh. It wants to wrap in, so turn it open. Few breaths right here. You may even opt to close your eyes. Side body stays long. Sit a little deeper. Keep everything the way that it is, from your elbows to your fingertips, straighten your arms. Then start to bring your arms down, palms will face down. Keep the shape of the body, begin to tip, move the torso into a V variation or supported variation with your arm on the top of the thigh. I'm gonna go B, hand on a block. I'm gonna use the back of my bicep to encourage the thigh to continue to open. And then I'm gonna go ahead and wrap my arm around for this half bind. Good, and then look off your right shoulder. Hug the left glute underneath you, turn up the ribs. Stay with it. Keep the shape of the lower half of the body. Keep your breath, even more importantly. Begin to slide your right arm back up. Anchor your feet. Feel the ground without any bounce. So hard. Pull up, warrior two. Arms are long and straight. Begin to straighten the left leg. You may need to scoot your right foot in a little. Tip the torso, move into your triangle. Now it's really important. A triangle, if you are going for the block, goes to the outside of the calf. If not, I'm just going to slide my hand to the front of the shin and create that lift. And this is a better angle to show you what I did with my arms as options. Right arm can wrap around, that's a half bind. I really like this. It's a clasp of the hands and you have to turn the ribs, look off the right shoulder. Soften behind the left knee. Let your breath flow. Feel your feet, feel your inner thighs. Whatever arm variations you took, just slide the hand back to a triangle pose. Look down, peel both hands down to the floor, pivot the right heel, step your right foot to meet your left foot at the top of the mat. Long spine on the inhale breath, exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Reach big with your arms. Now your arms are reaching straight up towards the sky. I'm gonna drop my seat down, sit really deep, wrap my left arm underneath my right arm, wrap my left thigh over my right thigh for Gayadasana, eagle pose. Yeah. Tricky posture. You can just use the big toe as a little kickstand. Steer the hips back the best that you can. But the only way I could give you advice in this pose is to think chair pose and sit. Lift the elbows up, look forward. The weight should be in your right heel and the shin drifts back. Sit a little deeper. Keep the arms the way that they are. Start to press into the right leg and hug the left knee in. If this doesn't work out, it's okay. Just do your best. Begin to take a giant step back to the back of the mat. Try and keep the eagle arms. It may not work out for some of us. High on the ball of the back foot. Sweep the arms out and up. If you need to reset your feet, widen the stance, okay? So you'll widen the stance and then you'll come back up. Hands come to a prayer at heart. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, begin your twist. Know you can drop your knee down. This is a good place to be for a lot of us, especially if you're feeling sluggish, right? Just be here. You're getting so many great benefits. Scissor the thighs and twist. Lean back just a tiny bit. Yeah. When I say that, I don't mean to back bend. It's just to lean back is going to straighten you out in your spine. Crown of the head should be lining up with your back left foot. Just stay for a few more. We're not going to go crazy today. Look to the ground, place both hands there, pause. So if you have those blocks, it's awesome. If you don't, you can still do this. We're gonna bring our weight forward, but I'm just gonna use the block underneath the left shoulder. I'm gonna pop the leg up and go into revolved Ardha. Another option here for revolved Ardha and Chandrasana is not in the cards for you today. Let's take a 3-foot step back and just take a revolved triangle. This is a great pose. Hand can just stay on the flat part of your back. So pick one of these. I'm gonna go with back leg popping up. Hand on the flat part of the back and a real lift of your back thigh. And I'm turning my belly towards the right just a little and then looking up. Using a lot of leg strength to keep my left leg lifted. Spark up the back toes, don't let it get lazy. Look to the floor, both hands come down. Step both feet together at the top of the mat. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold over the legs. Stretch all the way up towards the sky. So do that first. Then sit into your chair pose. Wrap your right arm underneath your left arm. Wrap your right thigh around your left. Do your best with this. Lift the elbows up. Once again, you may need to use like a kickstand for your big toe, or maybe just keep the chair legs, or ditch the arm thing, and just keep your hands in prayer. Sit a little deeper. See if you can keep your arms bound. Feel the strength of your left leg. Start to press into that, hugging your right knee to your navel. Pause for a second. The lift of the lower belly. Keep the arms bound if possible. Take a giant step back into that lunge. Good. Sweep your arms up. You may need to adjust, so just take your hands to the floor and work out your stance. It should be long enough and wide enough so you don't feel like you're on a tightrope, and then bring it back up. So nobody ever said in yoga that you can't fix the pose before you get into it. A little bit. Hands come to prayer. Inhale the breath, hook the elbow and twist. It's all about your alignment. Lean back just a little bit. Scissor the legs, and know that you can always have your back knee down. Maybe open your arms. And think crown of the head is lining up with the base of that back right foot. 2 more breaths. Good stuff is happening. Look to the floor, take both hands down. I'm going to pause. I'm going to get myself together and decide I'm going revolved Ardha. If you want to take twisting triangle, the back foot will stay more in a warrior 1 foot. Hand on that flat part of the back. Block is going to give me enough space so I could stay lifted and out of my shoulder, and then a lot of strength in my back leg to keep the lift. Begin to turn my belly towards the left now. So not my body, just my belly a little turns, and then the ribs go with me and everything else aligns. Maybe stacking the 2 arms on top of one another. Lift a little higher, but really work from your inner thigh strength. Another big breath in. Look to the floor, take both hands down, step your feet together. Come to the fingertips, long spine, fold over your legs. Sit one last time here in chair pose, look forward. Lower all the way down onto your seat for a version of boat navasana. I'm gonna catch the sides of my thighs today and lift my chest up and create a lot of lift. Once I get myself here together, I'm gonna reach my arms straight up towards the sky. Reach up really big. Maybe you're able to straighten out your legs a little bit more. If you can't, don't worry about it. Very slowly, my arms start to reach forward, straight forward. I'm going to begin to lower, but lowering really controlled into an Ardha Navasana boat pose, low boat, neck stays long. Belly draws in, my lower back presses into the mat. Pull back up nice and slow, boat pose. I'm gonna bend my knees in order to find this. Very slowly begin to lower, 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 lower. It's really hard on the carpet. Really reach the legs. Pull back up nice and slow into a boat pose. You can always grab here on the sides of your thighs. One more time, lower all the way to an Ardha Navasana. Ardha Navasana is a low boat. Take a breath in, my gaze is up. Exhale the breath, lower down. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Set myself up for a little back bend here, okay? So I'm gonna set up here, my feet come flat to the ground. I'm gonna use a block today. I'm gonna place it underneath my low back. Anchor the feet, take the palms flat, turn the thigh bones down. And some of you may just be more ready to go for the next thing, which would be a full wheel or even a camel pose, okay? But I feel comfortable right here and just kind of exercising this. A little bit of a back bend happening in my upper shoulder blades. And then maybe you want to play. Right leg can lift up. This actually feels fantastic. I'm going to flex with the right foot. Keep spreading the palms wide. Maybe lowering the right leg to meet the left thigh. And then bending the knee and then staying in the pose. If you went up to a full wheel, you'll come out and take one more. If not, just stay here. Flex the foot. Start to lower the leg so it lines up and zips up with the right thigh. Rebend the leg. Another breath in, feel your feet. Exhale the breath, you'll slowly start to come out. So I'm going to remove the block very slowly, start to lower the lower back down, and let your feet go wide and your knees knock in. Giant breath in, let it go. Hug the knees to the chest, give them a big squeeze in. Grab the outer edges of the feet, happy baby, old classic. Pull the knees down around the rib cage. Let the head really just broaden on the back of the neck broaden, and the tailbone lengthen. Good, hug the knees in towards the chest. Just drop the knees over to the right. I'm actually gonna slide the block the long direction in between the thighs because this just makes it feel good. Hand on the outer part of the thigh. My left arm's gonna go long. I encourage the shoulder blade to stay down on the mat. Come up to center. You can keep that block there if you have it. Knees drop left. Right arm goes right and look a little right. Good. Come up to center. Remove any objects there. Give the legs a nice squeeze. And then I'll set myself up for a rest. Shavasana, complete rest. You let go of everything. You let your head go. You let your palms turn up. Your feet turn open. You let go of your ujjayi breath if you were practicing that. And you arrive into stillness. For the sake of this video, though, I will sit myself up. Make sure that you move slow at the end of every practice and you have that opportunity just to feel the effects of what your yoga has done for you for today. So we bring our hands to a prayer. We have some closure with our practice. We have gratitude. We bow our heads. And then lifting our heads, opening our eyes. Namaste. Thanks so much for joining me. That was just a quick 30-minute basic flow. I hope you enjoyed it and tune in next time. See you soon. Thanks so much.